Hi everyone, I'm Amber and this is my sacred room. Today we're going to discuss how to cleanse your aura and how to cleanse the energy in your space. We'll take a look at some of the tools that you can use and we'll go through a few steps of how you can cleanse your energy as well as your space. So I'd like to show you all of the different options that you have available to you to cleanse your aura and cleanse the energy of your space. But first, why would we need to cleanse our aura and cleanse the energy of our space? Well, first, your aura is the energy that surrounds you. It is kind of like your energetic bubble or barrier. And this collects energy. It's fluid and it interacts with other people's auras and other energetic fields. And sometimes you can pick up things in your aura, and that can be that can lower your energy and lower your vibration, and so you'll want to get rid of those things. For example, if you have been in traffic, if you've dealt with, let's say a manager or a coworker, maybe you've had some kind of really negative interaction. Maybe you were just around some really negative, awful people who were just saying really awful, horrible things. Or perhaps maybe someone yelled at you, maybe it was in traffic or some other situation. All of those things can impact your aura. They can either, puncture the aura. They can, even sometimes damage the aura. But they will interact with your energy, and then it will become part of your energy. So you may be carrying these things around and not even necessarily realize that it's continuing to impact you and in a negative way. So that's why it's important that we would want to cleanse our own personal energy and that of our energetic body, which is the aura, so that we can get rid of those things. Just like you can have this negative impact on your energy body, you can have it on the energy of your space. And so those things will accumulate over time, just like if you weren't cleaning on a regular basis, well, you would still continue to accumulate dust. You would still continue to have trash or have, clothes, let's say, for example, continue to pile up until they actually get put away. And so you want to clean the energy in your space as well, because you are in your space. And again, those things that are in your space, they're going to interact with your energy. For example, you may have someone come over to your home, or maybe you get into an argument with someone who lives in your home or with a friend. That energy is still in the space. It doesn't necessarily go away. And the more things like that happen, the stronger that energy is. So that's why it's good to kind of cleanse that energy out, cleanse your energy, and cleanse the energy in your space. So now we're going to take a look at a few different options that I have here that I use personally and that a lot of people use in cleansing the energy that you may find helpful. So the first is that of sage. This here usually comes in a bundle, and what this is, sage has been used for thousands of years. Sage can be burned by itself. It can also be burned in conjunction with other herbs such as eucalyptus. You can burn it with rosemary. You can burn it with cinnamon or tangerine, dried fruit, rose petals. Those are all very good options. They all represent different healing aspects, whether it's dealing with healing something physical that may be going on, or dealing with something else, like with the petals will typically symbolize working on things that's been weighing on your heart, cleansing that energy. But this has been a very powerful and helpful tool for cleansing, particularly here in the United States and in the Americas. This has been used by Native American communities throughout the United States and throughout South America for cleansing and for spiritual ceremony. I always recommend that you use it with a fire-safe container or with a shell such as this, because you'll want to make sure that when you do use this, when you do burn it, it does release ash, and you wouldn't want that to damage your furniture, your floors, or potentially be a fire hazard. So make sure that you're using this with something that can catch the ash. And I do have these shells, the sage and everything else that I'm showing you available on my website, which is linked in the description to this video. So the next item is that of Palo Santo. Palo Santo means sacred wood. And so this has actually been used for hundreds of years, predominantly by shamans in the Amazon. You can find this, the tree from which this comes from is in the Yucatan area, but it goes from the southern part of Latin America into South America, down to Peru, as well as in part of the Amazon there. And so this is just an example of one that has not yet been burned, and you can see it's small wood pieces, and it's a very, very light, very fragrant, but not overpowering, almost somewhat fruity. It's very pleasant, the smell of the wood, and this is just, it's a very light cleanser. I like to use this as more of like a daily cleanser because it's not very heavy, and it does a really wonderful job of cleansing, and it has a very nice fragrant smell. I recommend sage when you're using, when you've had more, let's say maybe something a little bit more intense than maybe your normal everyday. I also would recommend sage when you're really trying to do a thorough cleansing of a space, especially if the space hasn't been cleaned before. I recommend sage because it will be a little bit stronger than the Palo Santo. And just as with the sage, I recommend you have a container when you burn this. So this is a glass container, and I have this filled with sand. So again, I just recommend so that when you've burned it, when you finish using it, that you can just place it right here, okay? And then the next item is that of incense. So I personally like to use a charcoal-free incense. However, there are many different options available. This particular brand, I happen to like their brand, and all of their incense is charcoal-free. And so I like to burn this. And I also have another container that I use. This is my incense holder. It's an oversized one, but it has 2 holes at either end, so I could burn 2 sticks at a time. And it's wide, several inches wide. Here you can see it's about that wide, so it will catch any ash. And so for all of these, it's really important to make sure that you have some sort of a container so that you can capture the ash, so that you're being safe when you're burning them. And for all of these, I strongly recommend do not leave them unattended, and please do not leave them burning in and around children, as well as take caution if you're using any of these in and around pets. The last option is that of Florida water or a cleansing mist. So this is actually a mist that I make. I blend this with sage and some other herbs to help in cleansing the space. This is Florida water, and Florida water has been used, I think it's been about 100 years that Florida water has been used. And originally it was meant to be a men's cologne that men were using, and they started to notice that it sort of kind of negative energy was dispelled when they used it. So I don't necessarily believe that was the original intent, but that is what Florida water is used for today in a lot of spiritual ceremony and for spiritual cleansing. A lot of people use it for that purpose. And again, I have my own version of it, and you can also make your own. So all of these are just suggestions, but you can cleanse your space just by using water. You can take water, if you don't have any of these available, You can take some water, you can speak your intentions into it, you can write your intentions on the bottle, and you can bless that water, and you can use that water to also cleanse the space. And you can cleanse the door frame, you can cleanse, put some on your temple, put some on your body to help clean your energy and clean that of your space. So now we're going to take a look at how to cleanse your aura, and then we're going to take a look at how to cleanse the energy in the space. Okay everyone, so now we can go through how to cleanse your aura. As I mentioned before, you have several different options. That includes Palo Santo, incense, as well as using another type of herb. We're going to be using for this demonstration a sage bundle. And they do usually come wrapped in a bundle like this with string around it. I recommend that you pull the string as much as you can down so that you can actually separate the sage pieces and leaves. It makes it a little easier for it to burn and for it to last longer. You also could take this apart and pull apart sections or leaves and put it loosely inside of your container or a shell. And I strongly encourage you to have a container or a shell like this, just so that you don't have any pieces that are lit that could fall on the floor. And then this is just to catch any ash as well. So I've already pulled the string down, and this one I've burnt just a little bit. And what we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and we're going to light it. And again, there are many different types of sage bundles that you can buy that have other herbs with it, like eucalyptus, cinnamon, rosemary. And so it just depends on what additional properties you want to bring. But all of those are really, really good options for cleansing your aura as well as cleansing your home. And so we can see that we have some smoke. And so you can put it into the bowl, and then you can just waft the smoke towards you. If you happen to have a feather, you can use this as well. You'll want to breathe it in, okay? And I like to visualize as I'm breathing it in that it's cleansing me. And I like to breathe in the cleansing breath and then exhale. And I see the negative thoughts, those things that have been weighing on me, going out, okay? And so what you'd like to do is I like to just kind of go over myself in a sweeping motion. So I just kind of like to cleanse my aura in this way, almost like I'm giving myself like a little dust off. I like to go over the entire body, as well as spend some time on my crown and my third eye. And then I like to go through all of the centers or the chakras in the body. I like to go down to my feet as well and just cleanse the energy in this way. And again, let me put this back. And again, I like to make sure that I am visualizing as I'm breathing this in, as I'm cleansing myself, I am seeing the negative energy flow out of me with the smoke and away. And then I am breathing in its cleansing properties and seeing that and visualizing that. Sometimes it's helpful if you use colors. You can see light coming in, and then you can see that light with things in the light flowing out of you. Whatever is most helpful, but I know that those are some steps that I take, and this is a really good process for you to use on a regular and consistent basis. I would recommend, if you're using Palo Santo, I recommend that as like a daily cleanse because it's kind of light. But if you've had a really stressful day, if something has happened, If you had a situation where you were being yelled at, which is really triggering to our central nervous system and can really kind of puncture your aura, then you may want to use something a little stronger, and I would recommend sage or sage mixed with another herb. But it's a good idea to do this regularly, if not daily, something that you incorporate into your spiritual practice on a regular basis, so maybe once or twice a week or as often as you need to. But it does help to alleviate things that are on you. Sometimes you may even forget, even just simple things, being in traffic, how that can shift your energy and how those things will still kind of be in your energetic field. And so this is one way in which you can help to cleanse it. And next we're going to take a look at how to cleanse the energy in your space. Okay everyone, so now we're going to I'm going to show you how to cleanse the energy in your space. So we're still going to work with this same sage bundle that we were using for cleansing our aura. And so now I'm just going to relight it. And so what we'll do is I like to go around all of the doors, all of the entrances to the home, and we're just going to cleanse. You're going to go around the door frame. We're going to go around. You can go all the way down, and you're just going to go around the door frame as many times as you feel is necessary. I usually like to do 3 times or sometimes 7 times. Those are 2 very powerful numbers. However, whatever you feel inclined to do, whatever feels appropriate for you, follow and use your intuition for your space or whatever space you're working in. And so I like to go around the door frame. I also like to concentrate on the center of the door as well. I like to cleanse the doorknobs, I like to cleanse the locks. And then what I like to do after I do all of my doors is I go through room by room, and I actually walk through each room as much as I can, as close to the perimeter of the room, so that I'm getting this into the actual corners. Because the corners in your space is essentially where negative and stagnant energy kind of tend to collect. And so those are the areas that you'll want to make sure that you're taking this through and cleansing the corners, okay? And if there are particular things that you feel led to in your intuition that you need to cleanse in the space, for example, if you have a stack, let's say, of mail or something like that, it's really advisable to try and get rid of it. However, it's stagnant energy in your space, and you may not have an opportunity to get rid of it completely. So it's a good idea to kind of take this over that as well, just to kind of cleanse that energy. And so you'll want to go through, as I mentioned, all of the rooms of your space and just follow what feels most appropriate for you. Again, I like to kind of sometimes work in 3s or in 7s, but you may find that there's another more appropriate number for you and for your space. At the same time, what I like to do as well is make sure that I lift up some windows. So lift up some windows so that as you're using this, that smoke is cleansing, and it's cleansing out the negative energy, and that can leave your space. And while I'm doing this, I also tend to either speak affirmations or to be visualizing it cleansing and things being removed. Sometimes I'll also sing as well. But this and any of the other tools that I've mentioned, you can use to cleanse the space, and you'll want to make sure that you go through the your entire home. And this is something that can be done as often as you feel that it needs to be. I typically like to do this around the 1st of every month. I like to just give my house a good energetic cleanse. or if something has been troubling me or has been lingering sort of in my mind, a concern or a worry, I may feel inclined to go ahead and do another cleanse, because I'm like, okay, there's something negative that I'm feeling in my spirit or my energy. Something keeps bothering me. I might need to cleanse the energy in my space, or just cleanse my aura, or both. Thank you so much for watching my video, and I hope that today's information was helpful about cleansing your aura and cleansing the energy of your space. If you'd like to learn more, please visit my website at www.mysacredhome.com, where all of the products that were mentioned and shown today are available for purchase, as well as additional free information from my blog on things that you can do to create your sacred space. Also are listed there in the blog section. Again, thank you for watching my video. Please subscribe. Please like the video. Thank you again.